the only show that takes you behind the scenes of GW's on-campus performances. This week we'll be covering one of the oldest traditions here at GW, older than some of the freshmen themselves, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Then I'll share my thoughts on FPP's first musical of the season, Title of Show, followed by an interview with Babette Perez of GW Ballroom, who's here to discuss an exciting event that they have coming up. But first, let's look at one of the oldest traditions here at GW, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now in its 17th year, the show comes around every Halloween and is always a sight to see. Let's take a look at what some of the insiders had to say about this crazy performance.
Touch me. I wanna be dead.
Rocky Horror is a really complicated movie to try and explain without having seen it first. The basic plot line is that there's a very innocent, naive young couple who stumbles across a transvestite's house, and they sort of get wrapped up in the drama that happens there, and then by the end they sort of are sexually liberated and everything's sort of hit the fan, and it's just a really crazy, fun movie.
I went to the FPP general meeting, and all the people on the board were like, I first got involved when I did Rocky Horror. Rocky Horror, Rocky Horror. So I was like, I have to try out. This must be a big thing.
I have never done Rocky before. I was actually really nervous to audition because I saw the show last year and I knew, it was pretty racy, and I wasn't sure if I would really be into that, but my friend ended up convincing me to audition, and I'm really glad I did. It's been just such a fun experience, and just nothing I've ever done before.
I love Rocky Horror. I've been seeing it since I was a sophomore in high school, and I was like, I gotta get involved. So I did tech, I did Backstage my freshman year, and Spot my sophomore year, and Josh asked me on this year as assistant director.
Rocky Horror is different than other shows in that the director sort of picks the next director. I've been really involved since my freshman year, and then last year I helped out with a lot of the directing process and with the rehearsal process as well. There are people who I'm grooming to be director for next year, but I can't tell you their names just yet. I think that Rocky Horror has a very good message of sexual liberation and being really comfortable with yourself and with your body. I don't think the movie itself has a very solid message, but I think the fact that the performance is so crazy and very open, and that people are wearing corsets and in all these crazy costumes, I think that sort of gives the message of Rocky Horror.
No, my parents are not coming.
Absolutely not. I called my mom on the phone, and she was like, oh, I didn't get to see you last year, I want to really come. I was like, oh, actually they canceled it.
It's really hard to get guys to dress in drag. You really do have to find the right person to dress in drag for Rocky Horror and to be the main character, especially Dr. Frankenfurter. But for the girls, it's not too hard to get them to put on a corset and dress up and do their makeup a little bit crazy.
There's no trying to hide it in this show. It's just overtly sexual.
It definitely took a little bit of prodding to get the cast comfortable with each other to the point where they could take off their clothes and be naked with each other more or less. And we did that through several cast bonding exercises at rehearsals, and we would play all sorts of crazy games where you really got used to touching other people and also just being not fully clothed yourself.
Well, we actually had a little alcohol before that. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
You really get to bond more easily because you can't not get close when you do Rocky Horror. It's just the nature of the show.
We hang out a lot, outside rehearsals, cast bonding, so we get more comfortable.
Everyone is just so in love with the show, and everyone has the same passion for the show, and you find a lot of common ground, and it turns into just, like I said, one big happy family.
It's a really big show, and it gives a lot of freshmen the opportunity to be involved in student theater early on. So we had a lot of freshmen in this show.
So you get kind of two sides of the freshmen. You got the ones that you got to tone down, the ones you got to tone up.
You're all right.
Did you want to drive here?
Yes.
Why?
It's raining.
What about you, Brad?
Yes.
What about you, Brad? There have just been these call lines that die-hard Rocky fans have come up with, and they yell them out at times during the movie, and it just adds to the fun. I think it just really enhances the whole experience because it's just they're so funny.
Before you come to Rocky Horror, you should know that you need to wear some sort of crazy costume. Don't come in normal clothes. If it's just a revealing dress or like that special club outfit you've always wanted to wear, you should definitely wear that. It's a night where people dress up in all sorts of costumes. If you want to put on lingerie and then come in that, that's perfectly acceptable too for the Rocky Horror audience.
It shows that people can come to the theater dressed in whatever they want. Like, I've gone in my sexiest outfit, you know, bra and panties, essentially. But I've also come in like a suit, and I've been treated the same way both times. It's like, you are yourself, and it doesn't matter what gender you are, if you're a gender, and who you have sex with.
You know, it's Halloween weekend, so it's one of those things where everyone wears a costume and comes to the show, and it's kind of a GW tradition that everyone does that, so the audience is really, really fun.
2, 4, 6, 8, show us how you masturbate. 3, 5, 7, now we know you do it all the time. 10, 20, 30, 40, now you get it really horny. 40, 10, speed it up and go again. Find yourself.
The Virgin Games are probably my favorite part of Rocky. It's why I come to Rocky. It's why I do Rocky. You get there, you do a couple activities, and you get a free condom. I mean, it's like, what else do you want in life? Yeah, I definitely encourage people to raise their hand when we ask for volunteers.
Forceful you are, Perez. Such a perfect specimen of manhood. So
big.
Dominant.
This movie is shown in movie theaters across the country all the time.
You're part of something almost bigger. I want to say bigger than yourself, because that's kind of cliche, but you really are. You know, this is the 17th year of Rocky. You know that there have been 16 other directors, hundreds of performers that have been a part of this. And if you go to, if you go to some GW theater reunion, you'd be like, oh, I was part of Rocky 3. I was like, wow, I was part of Rocky 15, 16, and 17, and hopefully 18 next year. So it's a great tradition to be part of.
Last week, I was fortunate enough to attend a dress rehearsal for Forbidden Planet Productions' first musical of the season, Title of Show. It was directed by Daniel Kaufman and assisted by Lizzie Marmon. This musical, about two guys writing a musical, about two guys writing a musical, about two guys writing a musical, was quirky, fun, and kept me smiling the entire time. The cast was small, only 4 characters, and I thought the casting was the best decision made by the production team, aside from their kick-ass chalk mural covering the walls of the Lizard downstage. The 4 actors had clearly formed a tight friendship that made the show a joy to watch. Blake Eisenberg and Zach Evans played the 2 ambitious musical theater junkies, hell-bent on writing an original musical. Both were so sincere in their performances that when the drama finally unfolds, I actually cared about the outcome. I found the actors to be extremely likable on their own, but the duo lacked a bit of onstage chemistry in the scenes without their female castmates. The ladies, Stephanie Brennan and Rachel Weinstein, were an adorable duo that came through as anything but secondary characters. I have to mention here the incredible voice on Weinstein and Brennan's superb comedic skills, a combination that successfully balanced the actresses' strengths on stage, making them strongest when they were together. And the cast really shone when they were all on stage together in interesting and upbeat musical numbers that showcased beautiful harmonies and visually appealing staging. Here's where I must credit the directors, Kaufman and Marmon, whose innovative staging made it so that I never saw the 4 actors in the same formation twice. But the breakout star was probably pianist and musical director John Kreisel, who offered hilarious interruptions throughout the show. All in all, I thoroughly enjoyed the production of this intimate musical that was well cast, well directed, and well performed. And though some of its obscure theatrical references probably went over some people's heads, I'm sure everyone could appreciate the shirtless scenes. This week, I'm joined by Babette Perez of GW Ballroom, who's here to share with us the details of Dancing with GW coming next year. Let's see what she had to say. So, tell us about this event that you have coming up.
So GW Ballroom is pretty much hosting this event called Dancing with GW, and it's kind of, a spin-off of Dancing with the Stars, but instead we're bringing it to GW's campus. We're going to have our staff and, professors and even administrators be our stars, and we're going to pair them up with a current GW Ballroom member and then have a GW Ballroom alumni coach them, and they're going to be competing, and then we're going to perform in Lisbon Auditorium. Everyone's going to get a chance to see them dance, And of course, these are administrators that have never danced before. So we're going to prepare them, give them choreography, dress them up, buy them shoes, and then have a panel of judges judge them in, you know, charisma, technique, you know, usual Dancing with the Stars kinds of things, and yeah.
So who are your judges?
Well, so far, we do have some professional ballroom people, coaches from the DC area, but we also want to make it fair, so we're going to have, you know, some people that are part of GW, like Dana Burgess, who is the director of theater and dance, just to, you know, help out with, you know, judging their personality and, you know, how they are showing and the charisma and things like that.
So what administrators can we expect in this show? Is Stephen Knapp going to be dancing for us? I want to see him do a little bit of like salsa.
Yeah, I think we all would love that. We actually did invite Stephen Knapp, but unfortunately he has prior commitments. But
He's busy. He has like a school to run or something.
Yeah, something like that. I can name drop a little bit. We do have Helen Dean Canaday, who signed up, so she will be dancing. If you guys are familiar with Michael Tapscott, Grace Henry, and Heather Scoff, who are part of the CSE, and also Stephen Roach, who is Dean of Students, also part of the CSE, and yeah, a couple of professors that we have.
So you got some big names in there. Those are some big stars, and they're not quite Kardashians, though.
Yeah.
So tell me more about GW Ballroom. How does someone get involved with that?
Pretty much, you know, you could sign up by just stopping by at a student org fair booth, or you could just email us at ballroom@gmail.com, or just stop by one of our practices, you know, talk to one of the board members, say that you're interested in joining our club team or our competition team, pay your dues, and you're in. No experience needed, nothing.
No experience? You never have to have danced before?
No, I mean, I've done ballroom for a year. I've never taken dance lessons before college. And I'm competing at the bronze level right now, which is, you know, the second level above beginner, so yeah.
Wow. That's crazy that you went that fast.
Oh yeah.
So you guys learn a lot then?
Oh yeah, we pretty much learn about 24 dances in one semester, and you can compete that first semester. Like our first competition for our beginners is going to be November 4th. And they know all the dances, they're ready for competition, and yeah, we're expecting great remarks and possibly ribbons. So.
Wow, good luck. So when you compete, you like take all these dances that you've learned and you go and perform those against other schools, or?
Pretty much. One, you know, misconception that people have with ballroom is that everything is, you know, choreographed and routine, but it's actually completely improv. It's very lead and follow. We just learn the steps. The leader, or the guy, he, you know, signals the girl to do something and she does it. That's all we do, pretty much.
Wow, so it's all improv, right? Like what we see on stage?
Yeah, pretty much. Throughout the dance floor, the guy just leads you to do something. Once you're at a higher level, that's when you're going to want to choreograph a little bit to be a little showy and fancy. But beginner level, you just have to follow the guy or whoever's leading you.
Wow. So you've been in ballroom now for 1 year?
Yeah.
Awesome. And how is there any sort of dues that you guys have to pay or anything like that?
Yeah, we do have to pay dues. Mostly it's for the people who teach us our lessons, and most of the money goes to competition, travel, and
but it's affordable?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially in the DC area, buying a lesson or a private lesson for ballroom is about $100 for 45 minutes. When we just charge $80 for a whole semester, and that's like, we have about 3 practices every week, so you have a lot of opportunities.
Wow, that's awesome. So everybody needs to go and get involved with GW Ballroom.
Definitely.
This is great. You're great. I love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
I want everybody to come to the event. When is it?
February 9th, 2012.
Alright, so we have a while, so
Yeah.
I'll probably see you again. Maybe I'll get some footage of you guys rehearsing or something.
Yeah, we'll stick you in.
Awesome, so I will see you soon, and I wish you good luck on everything, competitions and this great event.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Thanks so much for joining us for our first show, and make sure you tune in next time to see even more insider access on everything entertainment on campus. I'm Henry Murillo, and I'll see you next time, Backstage.